Welcome to the French Newfie. I'm Erin MacDonald. Today I'm going to be making a Hungarian goulash, and I was taught in culinary school how to make Hungarian goulash. It's not the goulash that I grew up with in Canada. There's different varieties and versions. So I want to make the true authentic Hungarian goulash today. So I have my pan going and some olive oil down inside. Now I'm just going to add some nice chopped onions that I chopped up earlier. So get that down into my pan, and I'm going to soften them while I move on to my meat. So I have a good bit of onion down, white onion, around a half a cup of chopped onions, and that's gone into the pan that's preheated, and you can hear it sizzling. So get that going. Off to the side, what I have is boiling water, and I have some nice tagliatelle Italian pasta, and these are beautiful. They're like little bird's nests almost. So I just love them. They open up really nice, and they're quite flat, thin noodle. So once this boils, and it's already starting to boil, I'm going to get that down. Next, I'm going to move on to my meat, and for the goulash, again, I grew up with, it was like a minced beef and onions and elbow pasta, but again, different variations. This Hungarian goulash, you actually need nice cubes of beef, which makes it really nice and hearty. So I'm not going to be cooking this all day. That's not the plan. So I picked a really nice tender cut. I actually have a nice ribeye here, and this is perfect because it doesn't need to break down and soften up. It's already soft and tender as is. My onions are going. I can hear them sizzling. This is almost done, and then we're going to coat it with some beautiful paprika and some other spices. Now, I don't want my onions to get too much color. That's not the purpose. I just want them to be nice and softened. So I'm going to give them another twirl around, and I can see that my pasta water is boiling. I've also salted the water because that's the only chance that you're going to get to season your pasta is by salting the water. So get the nice tagliatelle down into that water. Perfect. I'm going to use around 4. It's going to be a nice serving today. There we go. And right now what I want to do is I want to add some garlic. I'm just going to use 1 clove of garlic, a nice big fat clove of garlic. I'm going to get that in just like that. And I don't put the garlic in at first because I don't want the garlic to burn. So we just want to get it in there just for a minute, like that. Very nice. And you can start to smell the garlic immediately. So just move it around a little bit so it's not in one big clump. Excellent. Now I'm going to move on to the seasoning just for a minute while that's going. Get my bowl into the middle, and I'm going to add the paprika. And of course, paprika is classic for Hungarian goulash. It's the main thing besides the meat is the paprika. So I have a nice smoked paprika. It's beautiful. I'm going to get a good amount. I actually want almost 2 tablespoons of this paprika. It's the star. So I'm just going to get nice big pinches of this. 2 tablespoons is what I want. And then I'm going to go in with some salt. I want 2 teaspoons of salt. So I get that down just like this, a nice teaspoon. I want to turn off my pan right now because I don't want that garlic and I don't want any color on the onions. And then I want to go in with a half a teaspoon of cracked black pepper. So just like that. Now I want to go in with some flour. And the reason I'm going in with flour is because I want the Hungarian goulash, I want the beef to have a nice sauce. And the way we're going to achieve that is by putting a little bit of flour onto the beef cubes with this spice mix. And what's going to happen is when you add some liquid and water, it's going to turn into a thick kind of a gravy almost. So now, just move that around so that way the paprika and the salt and the pepper and the flour are all incorporated. Beautiful color of the paprika. It's amazing. So now I'm going to get my ribeye cubes that I've cubed up earlier into my spice mix, and I'm going to just move it around the bowl. And I want to make sure I can smell the paprika. It's so beautiful and fragrant. I really love it. Make sure that it's completely covered, just like so. Perfect. Now another thing that I want to do is I want to get it nice and brown, but I can't do that until I get my onions and my garlic out of the pan. So I need to do that now, because if I left it in while I'm browning the beef, it's not going to be good, because the beef is going to be really nice and crispy, and then I'm going to be left with crispy onions and crispy garlic, which does not taste good. So make sure you get out as much as possible. Even if you have one little piece of that onion, if it turns brown, you'll be able to taste it throughout the whole dish. So there's lots of residual oil that was in there from the onions and from the garlic, and also that's extra flavor. So now I'm going to get my beautiful beef cubes. You can see that they're full of that paprika. It's beautiful and smoky and delicious. Get it down into my pan. One by one, you just want to spread them out a little bit. I don't want too much crowdness going on into this pan. If I do, then the meat is going to basically steam, and you don't want it to steam. So just like this, really pretty color, like that. Lovely. Keep going until you get it all down into your pan. The smell is already starting to come alive in this kitchen. The smoked paprika is so beautiful and fragrant. There you go. So now my pasta, I'm just going to check on my pasta as always. Just lift it up. Oh yeah, you can see that they're starting to let go, those little nests, which are really pretty and elegant. And you can also serve it over rice if you like, or you can find many different varieties of pasta these days. You can find quinoa pasta, gluten-free, whole grain. So just move it around a little bit. And the pan is getting really nice and hot now, and I can smell my beef, I can smell the paprika, I can smell all the spices that are working together. Next, I want to go in with some nice tomato paste, and you can find the tomato paste in a lot of grocery stores that are not in the can. They're in this nice squeezable tube, so you don't open the can and then waste it and throw away the whole can. So get a nice little squeeze of this tomato paste down into your pan. Perfect. And I'm just going to move it around a little bit more, so that way that tomato paste is going to also break down a little bit into the pan. You can really hear the meat going. The paprika is smoky enough, but on top of that, the hot pan, it's smoking even more right now. Let's just get that around. Beautiful. You can hear it. You can hear the tomato paste is breaking down. So it's not too strong of a concentrated tomato paste. When you move it around the pan and get it going with that heat, it breaks down really, really nicely. Perfect. Now is the time where I want to go back in with those onions and with my garlic. So get that down into the pan again. This is only going to be for a minute. So just put it down. And the smell is absolutely amazing. I mean, no offense, Mom, but this is really nice goulash as well as yours. So there you go. Just move it around the pan a little bit so it's cooking even further. You can see that my beautiful ribeye meat is getting some nice color on it, but again, it's going to stay that really nice pungent red color because it's coated in all of that paprika. And we're just burning off the flour as well that was in there, because we don't want our mixture to taste like flour or be too raw. And this is going to make sure that the flour actually cooks off of it. So around like that. Beautiful. I can see some nice dark bits. And you can also see that the onions are starting to turn the color of the paprika as well. Let me just quickly get in there for a second. Oh yeah, my pasta is looking like it's a beautiful al dente now. I'm just going to leave it for another 30 seconds, and then I'm going to turn it off and strain it. Now I want to go in with some water, and I just have some plain tap water, and I'm going to make a nice gravy, as I said. So we're going to go in with some water, just about a half a cup for now. So you don't want to put too much in at first, but it's going to start to turn into beautiful paprika gravy, and it's excellent, especially over this beautiful pasta. And as you can see, it's already starting to thicken a little bit, which is what I want. I want it to reduce at this point. Look at the color of that. It's so beautiful and rich. And of course, you get another punch of red color from that tomato paste. So beautiful. That's gonna go for a couple more minutes. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm just gonna put in another half a teaspoon of salt, just a little bit extra of salt like this. Perfect. And that's gonna cook down and reduce a little bit for another 5 minutes. I'm gonna strain my tagliatelle pasta. When we come back, we're gonna have a beautiful traditional Hungarian goulash. Okay, and so now I'm back with my beautiful pasta that's been strained. And what I like to do is just add a little bit of olive oil around my pasta, and that's gonna make sure that it doesn't stick together, because I like to get a little strand of the pasta. And I have the beautiful Hungarian goulash. It's all ready to go. You can see it's a beautiful, rich, deep color. The gravy is wonderful. Let me just turn off my pan and plate up. So there you have it. It's so warm and comforting and very hearty. I mean, this is so nice for a weeknight or a weekend dinner, a family dinner. Obviously, you can increase your portions if you have a group of people coming over for dinner. I mean, this would be a real crowd pleaser. You could do a lot of it and have a lot of the pasta. And just like that, it's so beautiful and succulent. And I made this for a snack the other day, and I actually ate the whole plate, just this size. I ate it all to myself. Now, the Hungarian goulash, sometimes they like to add some sour cream just for a little bit of coolness on top. But I like to add thick Greek yogurt, so that's my little twist on it. I just enjoy the Greek yogurt, and it's just as sour cream in my opinion. So get a nice dollop of that down around. It's so delicious. I love this. I'm so happy that I learned how to make this Hungarian goulash. And no disrespect to my mom's goulash, American style goulash, but I really enjoy this traditional favorite. So I hope that you give it a try, Hungarian goulash. Enjoy.